What's up, YouTube? This is Lomax, and with me today is TJ with Totally Jumbled.
Hey, y'all.
Today I'm going to be discussing Star Wars, some of the expanded universe in the novels, which for me is canon because, of course, I grew up reading the books, and that's what I have.
Absolutely is canon.
I'm also going to explain a little bit of geek versus fanboy, some of the Imperial Academy, and missing characters that I wish Disney would actually not cut out. To begin, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Charlie at Emergency Awesome, who has motivated me to build a channel like this. In the future, I also hope to do some more other genres of videos for maybe mid-season finales of my favorite shows like Flash and Walking Dead. I want to tell you about a geek and a fanboy. Which one are you?
I'm a geek.
Well, let me ask you. Have you watched all the movies?
Absolutely.
How about the cartoons, the Clone Wars and Rebels?
How about even the holiday specials?
That is nice. Have you played all the video games?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Can you tell me what color Chewbacca's eyes are?
They're blue.
So, with that, if that's all your knowledge of Star Wars, guess what? You're a fanboy. If that's all you know about Star Wars, you're a fanboy. You'll probably be nerdgasming yourself out of Skywalker Ranch on a tour. So, in order to be a true Star Wars geek, you should know things like who is Corran Horn, how many children do the Solos have, and what is the name of Luke Skywalker's only son. But, as you know, TJ, none of that's in the movies.
Not mentioned at all.
No? You know why that is? Because of my next subject. Screw you, Disney! For 30 years, I've been reading books. And yes, I know, a lot of people will harp on you about, oh, you gotta read a book, and a lot of people don't like that. But Star Wars was done differently. You see, when Timothy Zahn, who was one of the main contributors to Star Wars books, wrote that Luke Skywalker was doing this on this planet, I could not come behind him in the same timeline and write that he was over here doing something else. It was a continuing universe, one book to the next, so if you referenced history, it actually had to be something that was history, or if there was a gap in time, you could make up the history. George Lucas still had total control over all that.
He put in a special team at LucasArts to make sure all canon was seamless.
And it was. It flowed. And in the very last book where one of the Solo children became a Sith, we'll get to that in a little bit, they made references to things that happened 6, 7, 8, 9, a dozen books back, because that's how it worked. Now, here comes Disney, ruining my life, ruining my history, everything I've dedicated to Star Wars, to say none of that counts anymore. If it's not a movie, if it's not a video game, if it's not a cartoon on TV, it doesn't count.
They'll get rid of all that, but they won't get rid of Jar Jar.
Right? One of the things that I'm really sad that they're going to get rid of is the Solo children. Now, they did have 3. The first 2 were twins, Jason and Jenna. And they had a third child, which was Anakin Solo. And they named him that so that Leia could get over the name Anakin being synonymous with Vader. Because, from point of view, they are 2 different people. Their children did great things in the galaxy. The daughter herself was actually called the Sword of the Jedi, which basically she was the Sith hunter when she grew up and became a full knight. And eventually hunting her own brother, Jason, who became a Sith. And the reason he had to be hunted and killed was because he could not be turned back. He chose the dark side of his own accord. But see, things like that are now lost. There are other things that we'll miss. Of course, Chewbacca's triumphant defying death, which I won't go into that for spoilers.
Yeah.
But also I'll miss things that have nothing to do with the Solos or the Skywalkers. Corran Horn, one of my favorite characters in the novel universe, started out as an X-Wing pilot in Rogue Squadron. There is talk that Disney is going to do a live-action Rogue Squadron TV show. But, of course, knowing Disney, they will change every character there, and Corran Horn will not exist.
But we're also getting Rogue One, which the anthology film as well.
That might be what I kind of heard about.
That's probably it.
So,
but I did hear there is a live-action TV series in the works.
Yes, with no Wedge Antilles.
No.
I mean, you got to have Colonel Wedge Antilles leading Rogue Squadron, otherwise they can't take back Coruscant.
Unless they're planning on putting it after 7. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, as far as the twins go, let's talk about the movie. It is rumored that Rey is the daughter of Han and Leia, which, plausible that Han doesn't know. Theoretically, he has been in prison for 30 years by the Empire. He got captured shortly after the Battle of Endor. So he gets captured with Chewbacca. They've been in Imperial prison for 30 years. So if Leia was pregnant, didn't know it, first of all, we didn't see that really come to fruition, but when you're trapped on an asteroid with a beautiful woman, what else do you do?
This is for you, Disney.
The other theory is that she has a twin brother who was taken in by the Knights of Ren. Hence Kylo Ren, or should I say Kylo of Ren. The Knights of Ren are Force sensitives that really aren't strong enough to be Sith or Jedi, but they collect a lot of the dark side artifacts and things like that.
Such as Lord Vader's helmet.
And believe it or not, Anakin's lightsaber, which Luke lost when his hand got cut off. So how the junk dealer got it to give it to Rey, I don't know. We'll try to find that out in the movie. Fact being that we now have a plausible that Rey and Kylo are the twins, just renamed. This is a theory that I have heard.
Rey
more than
Kylo. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a more feasible realization than everybody's saying it's Luke. We've seen his face. It's not Luke.
No, Luke Skywalker will actually have a very tiny role in Episode 7. He'll have a bigger role in Episode 8.
That's what I've heard.
For those of you with the conspiracy theories that he's turned to the dark side or this, that, or the other, R2 wouldn't be with him if he's in the dark side. Also, you're saying that because he's not on the posters, he's not in the trailers. The fact of the matter is that Disney, because of him not being the main Jedi anymore, didn't want to use him for marketing, didn't want him in that. They want to kind of keep a suspense thing going and keep you, the fans, guessing, because that's what all of this is about. So we have a possibility that the Solo still had twins. However, I saw in the more recent trailer Leia hugging Han. Now, at that point, we might be able to discover Rey, but wouldn't she know she had twins?
Yeah.
So a Force sensitive, which Leia is, because, oh wait, in the expanded universe, my canon, she was a Jedi, which she does have the Force.
Luke trained her.
So,
in fact, at the end of Episode 6, we are confirmed that she has Force power.
So she is Force sensitive, so she would also be able to feel another member of her family being in that predicament. So what we have is the possibility of just Rey being the daughter of Han and Leia, or they go with the twins again, just renaming them from Jason and Jenna to Rey and Kylo, which they could have named them Jason and Jenna, and then as they grew up got their names changed by whoever got them, since they were all technically imprisoned. I think the problem I have with that storyline is you then have a repeat of 4, 5, and 6. The relative of the hero is the bad guy, the protagonist.
Yeah, but that's the theme in almost all of Star Wars. If you look back in the novels, there's some sort of relation between the protagonist and the villain.
On my next subject that I want to cover, now this is a sensitive subject. Many people have said, how can there be a black stormtrooper? Are you kidding me? Well, the fact of the matter is that there have been a lot of different stormtroopers. Now, some of you that have especially watched some recent Star Wars Rebels have realized that there was an Imperial Academy that trained stormtroopers. So there were 2 episodes of Star Wars Rebels where Ezra actually went and infiltrated one of the academies. So for those fans, they're starting to realize that there was an academy, and I want to let you know that during the course of episodes 4, 5, and 6, that only Darth Vader's personal garrison, was the 501st, remained pure clones. Everyone else became humans that enlisted into the academy. And everyone goes, well, stormtroopers are idiots. They can't shoot. True. And if you look at episode 2 and 3, you'll notice that those clone troopers shot very well because they were the good guys. Every story needs a bad guy that's easily defeatable by the heroes. In this case, it's stormtroopers. But in the reality of the universe, going to the Imperial Academy is like going to a military academy nowadays. It's prestigious. It's hard to get into. It's basically top 3%. You're saying, well, that's not a lot. Well, you're looking at a galactic level of 3%. That's a lot. That's where you get the stormtroopers, is in that. They have to be easily defeatable, but at the same time, they are elite enough to join the Empire. There are a lot of humans that, you know, they're still shipbuilders or things like that in the galaxy. A lot of politicians, unfortunately.
And you also have to remember that there were high-ranking aliens, which, as Palpatine had instilled into his officers, was that the human race was the superior race. So they weren't racist as far as color. They were racist
Far as literally race.
Yeah. They were xenophobic, basically. But there were, especially in the expanding universe, in the Thrawn trilogy, Admiral Thrawn, after the Emperor died, he took control of his fleet and he began to take back planets that were beginning to rebel after the destruction of the second Death Star.
Yes. Of course, the Empire got their own, after the fall of Coruscant, got their own little corner of the galaxy to rule as the Imperial Remnant. So these are all the things that have happened in the 30 years between Episode 6 and now. So they're just revamping all that, saying 30 years later and the Empire still rules the galaxy. So, an empire doesn't fall in a day. Ask the Romans. They did allow black people and probably Hispanic-looking people because, like I said, they were not racial based on skin color. They were racial based on genetics. And, you know, basically, if you were a Solist, you weren't going to the Imperial Academy. Carillion, sure. Apparently, actually, Han Solo went to the Academy before he was a smuggler.
Yes.
Actually, technically after he was a smuggler.
He was actually, if I remember correctly, part of an Alpha type squadron, like an elite school, and he was actually going to be like kind of an infiltrator of sorts.
Yeah, but so there you have it. There's how you get your black stormtrooper. So calm down, take a deep breath. It is very plausible. Continuing on with that is now people are upset about the Black Jedi. Hello, Mace Windu. Have you heard of him? Not only was he black, but he was powerful. He was awesome. And no one wants to cross Samuel L. Jackson. So, I mean, really, why are you upset? Oh, he's the main character? That's why you're upset? Well, the fact of the matter is that I'm going to have to kind of agree with you there. It doesn't matter if he's black or white as far as being a Jedi or a main character. But I feel that in this case, Disney just wanted to cross racial bounds and, you know, to kind of keep equality people happy. The only reason I'm upset about that is because it's happening everywhere. That's basically how we're looking for you getting your main character, your black Jedi, your black... So just get over it. I'm sure that Finn, other than every time I hear the word Finn, I think of a Japanese dish.
Yeah, the names in this storyline were oddly chosen. But
they were.
I wonder if they used the online Star Wars name randomizers. I just went, let's go.
I can see them doing that.
If we hear James Earl Jones' voice at all in this movie, fans are really going to be...
I think that they're going to do it as not a flashback, but as a background, like Kylo can hear Vader's voice.
Yeah.
The back of his head type thing. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do something like that. By the way, Jabba's not in this, obviously, because he's dead, but there are still Hutts.
Yes.
There's still Tatooine. They're just going to, you know, expand planets that's not general knowledge.
Yes, there's not a single planet we know in this movie, which is going to be cool.
Yeah, but if you look at the preview, you've got your desert planet, you got your ice planet, you have a forest type planet. You're basically
they took 4, 5, and 6,
put them in one movie. Here's your background.
Here's your favorite parts of these movies in one.
Exactly, and that's a lot of fun. So we're going to have a lot of fun seeing these new planets set in the same setting type things. Are there any rumors or anything you want to cover as far as 7 or?
As far as 7, no, but if you go out over and check out my channel, I did do a rumor episode on episode 8. So go check that out, Totally Jumbled.
I'll have to watch that after this because I haven't seen that yet.
Yes, it's pretty good.
And honestly, if you don't want to read, try to find it on audiobook, play it in your car while you're driving, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It's a really easy way to get through these books.
Especially if you have like a half-hour drive.
That's all I have for today on the Star Wars theories and the expanded universe. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll try to get them answered either in the comments or with another video. I'll probably have TJ come back at some point to assist with some of these videos. You can go ahead and click the links below and you'll see Totally Jumbled, and I'm going to give a link to Emergency Awesome as well. I haven't actually met or talked to Charlie, but he is my inspiration, so good night, YouTubers, and may the Force be with you.